My name is Cole Powers. I'm one of the co-founders of an ag tech company, IntelliCulture, and then my role at the company is CEO right now. I definitely had other interests when I was younger. I originally studied mechanical engineering. That's what my degree is in at University of Waterloo. And prior to starting IntelliCulture, I actually thought that I wanted to go into the engineering field. I was always interested in the idea of ideation, and I thought maybe entrepreneurship would be for me and sort of a large organization doing innovative engineering work there. Definitely never envisioned myself in the business capacity or the CEO role of a startup company, but I found that I gravitated towards where I found the most interest in my work, and that tended to be working with our now customers, trying to figure out and solve their problems. I'll highlight how we kind of got started here, which was myself and my two co-founders. We all met in the automotive industry, working on technology there. Agriculture was always close to heart. It's we're biased, but in our opinion, it's the most important industry here in North America and probably the world, because at the end of the day, farmers feed our whole community. But when we came from the automotive sector, we had this interest in idea about technology. When we started exploring agriculture, we realized that there wasn't a whole lot out there from an affordability standpoint for growers to implement on their farm and actually see tangible value. So that was kind of what got us started. Now, what I would say from our mission, it's really focused around helping growers make data-driven decisions on their farm. And doing that in a simple and easy to use fashion is really what our bread and butter, our focus is right now. Every day is a different day in a startup, which has been great. I think that the most significant learning curve for me personally, that was around fundraising. I come from the technical background, so a lot of the financial world had to be learned as we were working on our company. And so working through what that meant, and also the whole fundraising cycle, was a totally different domain for me compared to what I had studied in school and what I had spent most of my career in previously. The exciting thing for us right now is we're building IntelliCulture. So we definitely have a lot of product coming down the pipeline, but even right now, we've got some of our customers are Fortune 500 wineries down in California, for example, and we're becoming pretty entrenched in all of their different workflows and how they're thinking about planning out their farms. So the idea of more business intelligence for our enterprise clients, I think, is an area that I'm personally excited about. But yeah, just in general, it's a high growth phase for us. So I don't know if I have a specific product or idea per se, but the idea of just our company growing out right now is something that we're really stoked about. A typical day for me usually starts around 5 a.m. And I usually wake up and do kind of a quick pass to see if any fires or anything looked like it's gone awry overnight. A lot of our growers do overnight work, so fortunately, it's very, very unlikely that we have anything come up. But I do like to review some of our farms accounts, especially the ones that I'm most involved with, for the first little bit of my day. Then from there, it's usually getting a good plan on for the day and making sure that the objectives I had set for myself the day before are still the objectives of the day. And then frankly, my calendar is usually pretty full with meetings from like your core 9 to 5 hours. That's a mixture of internal meetings, coordinating our team and making sure that everyone has the tools that they need to be successful and empowered in their roles. And then also some external meetings with usually growers that are either current customers or at the end of that sales cycle, so that I can make sure that I'm there to support them and make sure that they're seeing the value and the ROI out of our system. Sprinkled in there is usually some investor meetings or some meetings with our board. And then after our sort of core 9 to 5 work hours, I'll usually spend a little bit of time as well decompressing, doing some more strategy and planning for the business itself. The biggest thing that we've heard from our growers is the simplicity and the ease of use. I think that there's a huge amount of fatigue in the agriculture industry right now with technology. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of overpromise and underdelivery from the capabilities of that tech. What our growers really seem to like is you can plug our device into machine on the farm, and our growers will start receiving reports the next day highlighting areas of improvement or efficiency that can be tweaked, or more importantly, any safety concerns on the farm to make sure that all of their staff and operators are doing their job in a safe environment. I would say the whole role was a surprise. When we started IntelliCulture, we were doing it. We still do it for this reason, but we were doing it because we were passionate about building technology for farmers. We didn't think that we would be growing into the aspirations of a global company and like looking to raise capital. And now we've raised some funding to the tune of a couple $1 million. We're growing our team out. We've got folks in US and Canada that we're working with. So I think that was probably the biggest surprise, was just the magnitude and the aspiration here. It's working with our growers. My dream day is spend every day on the farm with folks, just hearing about their operation and trying to pick together pieces of intelligence and behavioral change that we can implement to help them improve their bottom line. We try to be super relational with all of them, and it's the most important thing, I think, for myself and all of us at IntelliCulture. I think that kind of transcends to just industry in general, right? If you can find roles where you're really flourishing and doing things that you're incredibly passionate about, like for me, sure, that's working with farms, but even for students that are looking at complex engineering problems, doing R&D work, right? Like it doesn't even need to be a client facing passion, but like finding those roles where you can just like really embody that vigor is, I think, really, really exciting. And I'm so grateful that we've meandered our way into IntelliCulture, and I hope that it seems like there's so many opportunities out there in the world, and there's so much to explore. So it's a cool and fun world out there, that's for sure. Not necessarily future advancements of IntelliCulture per se, but just the industry in general is really seeing a shift towards automation and robotics. I think that there is a huge gap in like disparity right now between the farm today and an autonomous apple picker, for example. But I do think that in the future that those apple pickers will become more and more prevalent on the farm. And I think that's a shift that, albeit might be a crazy one to think about, but I think that the industry is in desperate need of, given how challenging labor is right now. In terms of entrepreneurship in general, two pieces of advice that I've received from advisors and mentors have really, really resonated with me. One was make it hard for yourself to quit. And I stick to that one every day. Entrepreneurship is a hard field to get into, for sure. But remembering why you're doing it and why you're passionate about it, and building reasons to keep yourself entrenched in those tough times is really, really important. The other one, on a more positive note, is entrepreneurship, in my opinion, and again, I'm biased, but it's probably one of the most fun venues that you can go down. You get to learn faster than any other job that I've experienced. The world is kind of what you make of it as an entrepreneur. And I think that's a super exciting thing. So my advice would be to just go out and try it. Like, make that call, ask for that connection, try your idea and see where it goes. Because at the end of the day, even if it fails, from a product standpoint, you've learned something about yourself and you've learned something about that journey. It would have been to pay more attention to business fundamentals, in all honesty. And thankfully we had a lot of advisors and mentors talking to us about that from day one. But I wish someone had hit me over the head with that 3 years before we started IntelliCulture, so that I would have been like doing some pre-work and some pre-learning. Because it's so critical, right? Like, just thinking about your business as a machine that is solving a problem and in turn generating revenue for its stakeholders, I think it's a really important mind space. And if I could have gotten into that even quicker, it probably would have bode even better for the company.